Hello everyone, we have completed the chapter successfully, cell the unit of life. So we will be starting with a new chapter, that is cell cycle and cell division. So I am not doing biomolecules, as you know that biomolecules is the next chapter actually after cell the unit of life, but I am not doing biomolecules. Instead I am going to cell cycle and cell division. Reason you people know very well that once you have understood cell properly, then understanding the division process of cell is not that difficult. And before watching this video, I request you to watch the video which I have done on basics of chromatin, that is DNA, chromosome, chromatids, cystochromatids, non-cystochromatids, all those things. So if you have understood that concept clearly, then it becomes very easy for you to understand this chapter. Now in this chapter, as you see the heading that it is cell cycle and cell division. So first actually we need to understand what is this cell cycle. First we need to understand cell cycle and then we should go for cell division concept. But what I think is that cell cycle concept is very much difficult when we compare it to cell division. Students usually think that cell division is a very difficult concept. We don't understand that meiosis, mitosis, stages, these and all. But what I say is that cell division actually is very easy compared to cell cycle. That means to understand cell cycle, the concept of cell cycle, you should have a lot of things should be there in your mind. A lot of knowledge is important, a lot of basics are important here. So in brief I'll be explaining about cell cycle. In brief I'll tell about cell division. Then in detail we will go so that it becomes clear for you. Hereafter you should not have any confusions with that. Okay. So cell cycle. You know what is cell. Cell is the basic structural and functioning living unit of a living organisms. Now every living organism, either if you consider it as a unicellular or if you consider it as multicellular, the life starts from a cell. Yes or no? Exception is viruses wherein they don't have any cell. But if you consider any living organism, okay, other than viruses, it starts with a single cell at least. Now let us consider as human being also. Even we people, okay, now we look like this and we have been grown, all these things are done. I agree. But we have started our life, and that life we have started with a single cell only. Yes or no? And that cell is zygote. So many concepts we have to understand for this class. Okay. Now in brief, if you want to understand cell cycle, now let us consider this is a cell. Let us consider this is a cell. I am not particularly mentioning any plant cell or animal cell. Eukaryotic cell let us consider, because eukaryotic cell will have proper nucleus and all those things. Now let us consider this is cell. Cell will have what? Cell will have nucleus. So this is cell, and what it has inside nucleus? Inside the nucleus of a cell, what is present? What is present is nothing but, what will be present inside the nucleus? That is the chromatin material. And what is this chromatin? It's nothing but DNA. Yes or no? You people know this very well. This is cell, this is nucleus. Inside the nucleus, what do we have? Inside the nucleus, we have DNA. Now, so this cell, let us consider this is a normal cell. Now this cell actually, we are talking about cell cycle here. So what happens to this cell is that this cell, if it wants to divide, then what all things will happen here? First thing what will happen to this cell is that this cell will start increasing in its size. You will see some increase in the size of the cell, and you will find that the cytoplasm, you know that nucleus, the liquid present inside the nucleus is nucleoplasm. Liquid present outside the nucleus within the cell is cytoplasm. So when a cell is growing, what do you understand by the term growth of a cell? The cytoplasmic material should increase in size, amount should increase, cell should increase in its size. So all these things will happen. So first thing what happens is this. So here what you can understand here is that even there is the same nucleus, even nucleus is growing in the sense, what you can say is there are some changes happening in the cell. Now it is having the same DNA here. So what happened earlier now? It was a normal cell. What happened here? What is happening is the cytoplasmic content, the cellular organelles, and all those are increasing in a number. So this is called growth of the cell. What do we understand? This is called growth of the cell. This is the first thing what should happen. So cell needs to grow. If it needs to divide, first it should grow in its size. Now after this what will happen? After this what should be done is that the next step after this is, now as I told you, the cytoplasmic content will increase. I told you that the cytoplasmic content will increase. All the cellular organelles also will increase. All the cellular organelles also will increase. It was only few here. Now you can see so much of increases here. Amount has been increased of all the cytoplasmic contents. Next thing what happens is, now the DNA material which is present inside the nucleus also should double. That means even that should increase in its number. Why? Because it is about to divide. Cell wants to divide. So now to understand in still more better way, I will show you here. This is a cell with a nucleus. This cell divides and forms two cells. This is called cell division. Now when this cell is called parent cell, this is parent cell, and these are called daughter cells. How many daughter cells are here? Two daughter cells. In brief, I am telling you what is cell division, so that you can understand the cycle here. Now when this cell needs to divide and form two different cells, here the cell itself is dividing into two cells. That means the nucleus also should divide into two nucleus. Whatever is present inside the nucleus. Now if DNA is present inside this nucleus, nucleus of parent cell, same amount of DNA should be provided to this cell and this cell as well. Same amount of DNA should be given to both the cells now. Now when same amount of DNA should be provided, same amount of organelles should be provided, same amount of cytoplasmic content should be provided for the daughter cells. Then obviously if this is the condition, before the division, what this cell should do? It should increase its content of DNA, it should increase the organelles, it should increase the cytoplasm. That is what is happening in the first step. What is happening here is all the cytoplasmic content and all the cellular organelles, what is required is doubling. It is increasing. After that what will happen? After that the DNA will double. So this step, the next step what will happen here after this growth is that this cell, already it has increased in its size. Also now after the cytoplasmic growth and all those things, so all the cytoplasmic growth and all those things have happened already. Now what will happen is that here it will form, already this is a DNA which is present here. Now it will double the amount of DNA next, like this. And this process, what we call it as DNA replication. What we call it as, it has made another copy of content of DNA now. So this step is called replication, or we call it as DNA synthesis. First what happened? Growth. Second step is DNA synthesis will happen. So now already cell has doubled its organelles, it has increased its cytoplasmic content, also now it has increased or doubled the DNA content. Now easily it can divide, no? Now for division also, when this cell has to divide into two different cells, there are some other things which are required. All those proteins, all those things will be again done here after this. Again we can call it as cell growth. Suddenly after DNA synthesis, suddenly the cell will not divide. Again it will take some time. Again some amount of growth will happen. Then what will happen is this cell actually divides. It divides into, what you can say, it divides into two cells with two nucleus. One amount of DNA will go to this one and the other will go to this one. Now what has happened is cell division. So this step, what is happening here? So the third step is what? The third step is actually it is cell division. The actual cell division is this. Now I hope you people have understood. First, normal cell, if it wants to divide, then it will start growing. After the in growth, what will happen? All the cytoplasmic content will increase. After the growth, Second step is DNA synthesis, where again the copy of DNA is made so that it can be provided for both the daughter cells. Then after this, again there is one more step here, wherein again some amount of growth will happen, that we are going to see in detail about cell cycle when we do that. Here it is just a brief idea. Then the cell will divide into two. This is the actual cell division process here. It divides into two. Later on, why we call it as cell cycle? Because now these two cells, again, they can become like this. That means again they can enter this cycle. Again it can grow. These two cells I'm talking about. Again these two can grow like this. Again they can divide like this. Again they can produce two cells. So this is a cyclic process. That is why we call it as cell cycle. So the first thing is growth, and then DNA synthesis, and then cell division. And then again it can come back. Again these cells can grow, again synthesize DNA, again they can divide. So this is a continuous process. This is a brief idea about cell cycle. Please note down this and try to understand what I am trying to say here. This is very much brief. If you see in NCERT, cell cycle has so many phases, so many things are there which we are going to discuss in detail. But this is a brief overview of cell cycle. This is called cell cycle. That is why we call it as cycle. Clear? Okay, this much you just note it down. So what we can say is that here this can continue, this can again continue like this, or even this can continue like this. So that is why we call it as it is a cyclic process. Clear? Now, actually that's what I told you. I'm not going to talk about cell cycle in detail now. First I want you to understand about cell division, and that also will be doing it in brief. So these brief thing what we are doing, this is the basis of this chapter. If you don't know this, then the chapter is, you feel it, some people feel it is very easily you can just by heart it and then you can do, but that is not the case. In bio subject you need to understand it properly, then only you can attempt whatever question comes based on that. So the basics plays very important role. That is why now what we will see cell division. What actually is cell division? Remember, cell division. Usually if you talk about cell division, there are two types of cell division. One type of cell division is called mitosis. You people have heard about this already. And the other type is called meiosis. So, cell division is of two types. One is mitosis and the other one is meiosis. Let us take example of human beings, or easy way to understand that. We will try to make it as easy as possible. Now, there are two types of division. One is mitosis and other one is meiosis. Where it takes place, everything I'll be discussing here. Now first let us understand what is this mitosis and meiosis actually. Mitosis is also called as equational division. What is mitosis called as? It is called as equational division. And what about meiosis? What is the other name for meiosis? Meiosis is called as reductional division. It is called as reductional division. Why it is named like this? It's called reductional division. The best and easy method to understand this, let us consider what happens in mitosis. First I will explain, then I will tell you why it is equation. So let us consider this is a cell. Okay. Let us consider this is a cell. Okay. Or let us consider this is a person who is having 4 chocolates. Just an example. Now this is a person who is having 4 chocolates. Now he has 2 friends and these friends want the same amount of chocolate. Now this person, what he should do, he should actually divide the chocolates and give them. Yes or no? So according to us, like what we will do? If this is a condition, 2 we will give to this one, 2 chocolates will be giving to this person, right? According to maths, this is division. Yes or no? 4 divided by 2, 2, correct? But mitosis is not that case. Mitosis is opposite to that. Here in mitosis, we call it as equational division. You cannot give 2 and 2. They want 4 and 4 only. Now you tell me, when this person is having 4 chocolates and if he wants to provide 4 and 4 for both of them, what he should do first? First he should double the chocolates here. He should make it 8. Then only he can give 4 and 4. So that we will discuss later and in detail. So what is mitosis is? One parent cell, it divides and form 2 cells. And what is the number of DNA or number of chromosomes here? Actually, this is not chocolate. This is chromosome. Okay. The cell will have, every cell, every living organism have particular amount of DNA. And you know that DNA condenses to form chromosome. So it can be it depends upon the amount of DNA. If human beings, we people have so much amount of DNA, so after condensation, we will have 46 chromosomes in every body cells. 23 from father, 23 from mother. So that also will discuss everything. But here if you consider this one, mitosis is called equational division. Why? Because one cell divides and forms 2 cells. And what is the number of chromosome here? If it is 4 chromosome here, daughter cells will also have 4 chromosomes. That is why equational division. No partiality. Both will have same number, like the parent cell. Now once the parent cell divides, it will form what? It will form, these 2 are called daughter cells, right? These 2 are called daughter cells. Now, some children will have this confusion. One, this cell will divide and form these 2. They think that after division 3 cells are there. No. Once this cell divides into 2 daughter cells, the cell itself is dividing into 2 content here. So this cell you will not find after the division. Gone case. It has been divided into 2. You will not find this cell. This is clear. So many will have this confusion also. So I am telling you. So once the cell divides, it forms 2 cells. And what is the number of chromosome? It will be equal. Whatever the number of chromosome is there in the parent cell, same number of chromosome is found in the daughter cells. This you should keep it in mind. This is very crude knowledge about mitosis. Now what is the case in meiosis? Now in meiosis, you need to understand one thing. In a crude thing if you want to talk, now the same example we will take. Here also meiosis, this is a cell which will undergo meiotic division. That means if it is having 4 chromosomes, then the condition in meiosis is that it will form 2 cells, but the chromosome number will be reduced. It is equally given to both, but it is reduced. That means 2 and 2. This is the actual maths. Yes or no? So maths will work here, not here. That is why we call it as reduction division. One thing I'll make it clear. But meiosis will not stop here. In meiosis, if you want to understand meiosis, meiosis is a division which takes place in 2 processes. Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So this crude knowledge you should understand here only. This meiosis will not stop here. We will talk about meiosis in detail, but when this parent cell actually undergo this meiotic division, it will form 2 daughter cells first in first meiosis. This is called first meiosis division. Then what will happen? This cell will again undergo division. This also will undergo division and form totally how many? 4 cells. Then what is the number of chromosomes? Will it be 1, 1, 1? No. Here it is same like mitosis. So second meiosis, what we are talking about. Second meiosis is exactly similar to mitosis. That means you can understand 4 is given 4 and 4. Then obviously if it is 2, what will be here? Answer, you should tell me the answer. It will be 2 and 2. What about this? Again it is 2 and 2. So what you can understand here? This is meiotic division. What is meiotic division? It is a reduction division. But what is the difference between mitosis and meiosis? In mitosis, one parent cell divides and forms 2 daughter cells. This is first difference. But here, one parent cell divides. It completely undergoes meiosis and forms 4 daughter cells. Is this first difference clear? Second difference is, here it is equational division. That means whatever the amount of chromosome is found in parent cell, same number of chromosome is found in daughter cells. But that is not in the case of meiosis. In meiosis, whatever the chromosome is found in the parent cell, it is reduced. And all the daughter cells will have that reduced chromosomes. If it is 4, all the 4 will have 2. If it is 8, it will be 4. If it is 16, it will be 8. But this division takes place in 2 phases. We call it as first meiosis, second meiosis. When this both will happen, then only one meiosis is complete. We can consider it as complete. What happens in first meiosis? In first meiosis only it is a reduction division wherein it is reduced. Second meiosis is not reduction. In second meiosis, that is again same like mitosis. This is very much crude thing about meiosis and mitosis, wherein many people go fail because they don't understand this concept here. That is why where they go wrong. This understanding is very much important. Is this clear? Now coming to where actually we can see this mitosis and meiosis. Remember, mitosis, it is found everywhere in the body. You can say all somatic cells. Somatic cells. Soma means what? Body, no? So all the body cells, if you see, everywhere mitosis is happening. Skin cells, if you see. All over the body we have this division going on called as mitosis. Then where meiosis in human being, meiosis will occur? If you have understood the chapter human reproduction, easily you will remember. There, that means where meiosis will happen in gonads. What are gonads? What are gonads? For males, the gonad is testis. For females, it is ovary. The sexual organs, what we call, the sexual organs which actually produce the sex cells. So in males, it is testis. In female, it is ovary. I'll write that also. So you should not get confused here. So gonads. Here, if you understand this, for male, I am writing M, and for female, I am writing F. So for males, it is testis, right? And for female, it is ovaries. So here, actually, why meiosis will happen is that, now let us consider this is the cell of this gonads, okay? So for example, if it is in male, so this meiosis is happening in the testis. If it is taking place in female, then this will be happening in the ovary. Ultimately, these cells, they are like these cells only, which have the same number of chromosomes like parent. But later on, when they undergo meiotic division, if it is a male, then it will form sperms. One spermatogonia cells means the cell which actually produces the sex cells, that is the gametes. We call it as sperms. Okay, so testis, what it will produce? It will produce ultimately sperms. So the cells which actually produce sperms, they undergo meiotic division and forms sperms. And if you take example of females, in ovaries, there are oogonia cells, okay, which are egg mother cells, we can call them. Those are like body cells only, like this only, but they undergo meiosis and then they produces 4 gametes. In females, it is again, we have polar body and all those things. Everything you know you have studied in human reproduction chapter. What I am trying to convince you people is that where mitosis is happening in the human body, if you consider, everywhere the body is developing because of mitosis. Then where meiosis is helpful? Meiosis, when the body starts producing the gametes, when males start producing sperms, when females will start producing eggs, there actually meiosis is happening. I hope I made it clear. This knowledge of mitosis and meiosis plays very important role. You should understand this in a clear sense, then only you can understand the next things. Okay, please take down. You people have understood? Yes. How many types of cell divisions are there? 2 types of cell division. Mitosis, meiosis. Which is equational here? Mitosis is equational. Which is reduction? Meiosis is reduction. What is the difference between mitosis and meiosis? Mitosis produces one parental cell produces 2 cells. Meiosis, one parental cell will produce 4 cells. Then, what happens in mitosis? It is equational division. Whatever the number of chromosomes the parent has, same number of chromosomes is found in the daughter cells. If it is 4, it will be 4 and 4. If it is 26, it is 26, 26. If it is 80, 80 and 80. But here that is not the case. One cell divides and forms 4 cells. And how it is forming here, you can see this. In detail also I will be showing you another video. We will do that and I'll explain that. So here what will happen is, if parent is having 8 chromosomes and the daughter cells will have what? 4 chromosomes. Reduction, half reduction, exact half. Clear? So this is meiosis. Where mitosis is happening? Everywhere in the body is growing because of mitosis. What about meiosis? The sex cells, the sperms and the eggs are produced because of meiotic division. Okay, this is the crude thing. So yes, we'll be talking in detail about this again.